If I told you that within your lifetime humanity might not only visit distant worlds but build entire cities on them? Imagine waking up one day to find out the moon is no longer just a distant orb in the sky, it's someone's home. Could you ever picture the day where vacationing on Mars sounds more like a plan than a dream? It sounds impossible now, but so did walking on the moon. And look where we are, space station, and has big plans for the moon and Mars. India's space program, ISRO, has moved forward as we speak. But here's what's really exciting. The moon is packed with resources. It's not just a dry, dusty ball. There's water ice at the poles, and water is going to be essential, not just for drinking, but for creating oxygen to breathe and hydrogen for rocket fuel. That means the moon could become a refueling station for missions going deeper into space. Think about that. A fuel station on the moon. That's like turning a far-off fantasy into a critical part of space exploration. This is going to be crucial. Virtual reality and immersive technology. What if, one day, we could make Mars more like Earth? That's what terraforming is all about, transforming the planet's environment so that it could support human life without needing all these domes and habitats. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but some scientists believe it could be possible. The idea is to gradually thicken Mars's atmosphere, maybe by releasing greenhouse gases to warm the planet, melt the ice caps, and create liquid water. It's an insane challenge, like flapping wings. Crazy, right? But with the technology we're developing for Mars, these places could be within reach. And that's the thing with space exploration, it's a domino effect. Once we solve the problems of living on Mars, the next steps get a little easier. Mars becomes a base for launching even deeper into the solar system. We'll develop new propulsion systems to get us there faster, new technologies to keep people alive in extreme conditions, and new strategies for building self-sustaining colonies far from Earth. Mars isn't just a goal, possibility of finding microbial life, or something even more complex, right there, under the ice of a moon orbiting Jupiter. That would change everything we know about life in the universe. Then there's Titan, Saturn's moon. This one's got lakes and rivers, not of water but of liquid methane. It sounds bizarre, but scientists think that, under the right conditions, life could exist in that kind of environment. Plus, Titan has a thick atmosphere, which could make it easier for humans, or even more mind-blowing, alien life on a distant exoplanet. What would that do to our sense of identity? Religions, philosophies, even our daily lives would shift. Would we try to communicate with them? Would we work? Think about it. If intelligent life has evolved elsewhere in the universe, it's possible that some civilizations have already risen and fallen, leaving behind ruins, artifacts, or even signs of their technology. Finding evidence of an ancient civilization on another planet or moon would be like opening the ultimate history book, teaching us about the rise and fall of other intelligent species. Or was it seeded from somewhere else, maybe by comets or asteroids carrying the building blocks of life? These are questions that have puzzled scientists for centuries, and by the 2100s, is supposed to be used. The most famous one is the Outer Space Treaty, which was signed back in 1967. It basically says that space is for all of humanity. It's not owned by any one country, and nations can't claim planets or moons as their territory. But here's the thing, that treaty was written at a time when we could barely get to the moon. Entirely new cultures and societies independent of Earth. It's not so far-fetched to imagine that one day, the people born and raised in space colonies might start to see themselves as fundamentally different from those of us on Earth. They'll have a different way of life, different challenges, and maybe even different values. Will they still see Earth as home, or will they start thinking of themselves as citizens of space? And if space colonies do become independent, what happens to the relationship between Earth and these new human outposts, and to future generations? And then there's the question of how we prepare ourselves for the future. We've been talking about how humanity will expand into space, but what does that mean for us? How do we prepare the next generations to live and thrive in space? Will we need new kinds of education, new skills, new ways of thinking? Space is a different environment. It's harsher, more dangerous, and more unpredictable than anything we faced before. So as we move forward, we'll have to think about how to raise and educate spaceborne humans, how to keep them healthy and happy in an environment so far from Earth. In many ways, space represents the ultimate test for humanity. It's not just about getting there. It's about what we do once we've arrived. It's about asking ourselves who we want to be in the future, and what kind of legacy we